Welcome to KXAN's On The Go and happy Halloween Eve. I'm Chance Stickland.
And I'm Amber French. Leading local in our top story this morning, a man in Williston is now in jail, charged with over half a dozen sex crimes.
Edris Fuentes Perez is now being charged with 7 counts of gross sexual imposition. A Williston police detective spoke with a teen girl who says Fuentes Perez forced her to perform sexual acts several times beginning in June or July of last year. The victim also told police that Fuentes Perez in some instances used sexual acts to be given permission to go somewhere or to prevent her from getting into trouble.
Fuentes Perez was in court on Monday where a judge set his bond at $1 million. He's also currently on hold with Immigration and Customs Enforcement and has his trial scheduled for March of next year in Williston. Also this morning, a man who is currently facing jail time for a drug case in Bismarck is now facing another charge after police say he is getting drugs through the mail.
A postal task force agent told a Burleigh County Sheriff's deputy in June that there were 2 packages being sent to Patrick Breck's home in Bismarck. Now, the packages were being sent from California.
Investigators got search warrant and showed up at Breck's home where they seized more than 5 pounds of marijuana as well as concentrated THC, vapes, edibles, and cocaine. Breck is now being charged with a count of conspiracy to deliver a controlled substance. He will be in court next month.
He has already pleaded not guilty in a separate felony case, which includes possession with intent to deliver drugs and endangerment of a child. That case is set to go to trial in January.
Changing gears here, this week is Red Ribbon Week across North Dakota, a week to raise awareness of drug and alcohol use and the related problems that our community face. On Wednesday at Century High School in Bismarck, the Avid students were raising awareness to the dangers of drugs and alcohol use. They did this through exercises that show how they can impair a person when behind the wheel.
The exercises were performed in a supportive and light-hearted environment that showed the importance of living drug-free lifestyles.
I think people just don't understand how it can lead to bigger decisions. People always say oh, I'm just gonna go smoke weed or I'm just gonna go do this, and then I don't think they realize how much it leads to other things. And I think it's important for the community to come together and just even support those individuals who might be struggling with it.
Students got to try the driving course and coloring while using the drunk goggles to simulate what being under the influence can do to your motor skills. We've got much more available over on our website.
Good morning, Andre.
And good morning to you too, Amber and Chance. And it looks like we are seeing those quiet conditions this morning here in the Magic City. But however, the temperature is at 40 degrees and the winds are quite breezy at this time out of the west at 18 miles per hour. But let's head over into the great city of Watford City, where we're also seeing those quiet conditions this morning too. And guess what? The temperature is at 34 degrees and the winds are out of the west-southwest at 10 miles per hour. Now looking ahead, folks, we are going to be watching for those windy conditions throughout the day today. Also, we're going to be staying mild for now, and then things start turning a little creepy as we head into our Halloween. Now, what is driving all this? Well, we have our cold front and area low pressure just to our east and an area of high pressure just to our west. And with both of these forces combined, that is going to really increase those winds throughout the viewing area today. And also on our Halloween, it could bring us a little bit of a fright. I'll show you that in just a little bit here. Now, looking at our winds right now, they are out of the north and west, about 5 to 15 miles per hour. So they're a little breezy right now, but this is going to be kind of a start of what's to come, folks. Now, as far as our current temperatures right now, our temperatures are mainly in the 30s at this time, and we even have a 40 degrees there in the Magic City and below freezing there in the Turtle Mountain. But otherwise, pretty much most of our locations this morning are at or above freezing this morning. So that's something to really keep in mind here. Now, looking at over the last 24 hours, this is really letting you know on how warmer it is this morning, folks. We have seen about a 5 to 15 to near 20 degree increase in temperatures. So I really didn't have to wear a jacket this morning, and you probably didn't either. So it felt pretty nice here. Now, looking at our wind gusts, we are going to continue to see those wind gusts increasing throughout the day, around 15 to 25 miles per hour now. But once we get into our afternoon hours, we will start seeing those conditions really start to deteriorate as far as those wind gusts increasing to around about 20 to 40 miles per hour by lunch, and then into our afternoon hours about 30 to 50 miles per hour. So I want you to have those small objects indoors and make sure that you're traveling slowly and safely. And once we get into the evening hours, those wind gusts will start to calm on down just a little bit here to a little bit more manageable in most locations. So we're going to be watching that very closely. Now, our highs for today will mainly be in the upper 40s to low 50s. So that's near where we should be this time of year. But once we get into tonight, we will see those temperatures in the 30s in our eastern areas. Meanwhile, in our western areas, it's going to be mainly in the 20s. And it's because we're going to see a lot more clearing in our western areas. And that's going to allow for us to cool down a little bit more. And once we enter into the eastern areas, we will see those clouds on the increase. So that's going to really limit on how low those temperatures can go. And on top of that, because with these two forces combined and they're so close to each other, that will promote a little bit uplift in the atmosphere, and that could provide us a little bit of a spook in the form of some rain and or snow showers during the day on our Halloween. So we'll be watching that very closely. Looking at our precision cast, this is Friday at midnight. That's where we're going to start seeing a rain-snow mix potentially developing in our north and eastern areas. And by the time we get into around 3 and 6 o'clock in the morning, that is going to travel along and east of Highway 83. And some of this, it could be in the form of just all snow. So we're going to be watching this very closely. And once we get into around lunchtime, we are going to continue to see it move its way towards the south and the west. And then once we get into trick-or-treating time, that's where it becomes more on the scatter side. So we're going to be watching that very closely here across the viewing area. And our highs for our Friday will be climbing up into the upper 30s to low 40s, so below normal for this time of year. And looking here in the Williston area, we are going to see a rebound in temperatures once we get into the weekend with temperatures in the 50s and 60s. And that same thing goes here in the Dickinson area too, with breezy winds at times. Now looking here in the Magic City, we're going to be seeing 40s today, 40s tomorrow, 40s for our Saturday, and then we're going to be climbing up into the 50s and 60s there on out. And that same thing goes here in the capital city too. And don't forget to turn those clocks back Saturday night into our Sunday.
Sounds good, Andre. Thank you. For Amber, for Andre, for our entire production team, and everyone here at KX News, I'm Chance Dicklin. Let's make it a great day.